Good morning, students. Welcome back to my channel. Today, this is the last video that I am going to make for this chapter. That is chapter number 3, Neolithic farmers and herders. Earlier in the previous video, I I made and I had explained about the farming, domestication of animals, tools, pottery, invention of the wheel and cart, then community life, megalith, Chalcolithic age, social life of in the Chalcolithic age, and religious life. Now today in this video, we will do we will read the case study about some major Neolithic sites. It is very important to know about the historical site that historians have been found. um First is Mehergarh, located in northwest part of the world. Well, Mehergarh, it is located in a fertile plain near the Bolan Pass, which is one of the most important routes linking India and Iran. Mehergarh was one of the places where women and men learned to grow crops such as barley, wheat, and cotton, and to rear cattle, sheep, goats, and buffalo. So, in this site, Neolithic site Mehergarh, it is located in a fertile plain that help us to grow the crops easily. It is most important routes that links India and Iran. Mehergarh was one of the places where women and men they learned to grow how to grow the crops such as barley, wheat, and cotton, and also they domesticate the animals like cattle, sheep, goats, and buffalo. The house at Mehergarh were square and rectangular in shape. They were made of mud and mud bricks. Each house had several rooms, some of which may have been used for storage. So the houses that have been found in Neolithic site Mehergarh by historians, these houses it was made up of mud and mud bricks, and their shape of this house were square and rectangular. Each houses had several rooms, and some of the houses the people of Neolithic age they used for storage. At Mehergarh, microliths have and bone tools have been found, and slabs have also been found here. These were probably used for grinding. People of Mehergarh learned to make pottery on the potter's wheel. They also designed their pots. So, people of Mehergarh, historians have found microliths. Microliths mean different types of tools that people were used to hunt animals or and stone and slab have also been found there, and these and also used for grinding. And people of Mehergarh they also learned how to make pottery on the potter's wheel, and they also designed their pots. People usually buried their dead in pits, sometimes with domestic animals. Several buried sites have been found at Mehergarh. In one instance, the dead person was buried with goats, which were probably meant to serve as food in the next world. So, historians who collect the information excavated in the historical site, and they have found that there were so many pits that these people they usually buried their dead with domestic animals. At historian they have been found several burial sites at Mehergarh, and the people of this age they believe the dead person they buried the dead person with gods because they believed to probably mean to serve as food in the next world. Another important historical site named is Burja Home. It is located in Jammu and Kashmir. Burja Home Burj Home sorry, Bujum, it's not Burjam, it's Burjum. Bujum is the present state of Jammu and Kashmir, was the first Neolithic site to be discovered in the Indian subcontinent. This site, Bujum, located in Jammu and Kashmir, was the first Neolithic site to be discovered by the Indian subcontinent. The Neolithic people of Bujum grew crops like wheat, barley, and different types of lentil. However, hunting gathering was more important than the farming and herding. These people they believe it was more important. It was hunting and gathering was more important than farming and herding. People probably domesticated animals such as dogs and cats. At Bujham, people lived in deep pits. This mode of habitation is termed as pit dwelling. They plastered the sides of the pits with mud. The muds were narrow at the top and wide at the base. Some of the deeper pits had few steps leading down. So people of the age they lived in deep pits, and these lived it was made of mud and mud bricks. And people perhaps lived in such pits to avoid winter. Why they lived in these such pits? Because they had to avoid winter. Oven husks and charcoals have been found inside as well as outside the pit. This suggests that people living here might have cooked both indoors and outdoors. As we know that people have already discovered the fire in Paleolithic age, that's why in Neolithic age, people of this age they were using fire to cook food both indoors and outdoors because historians they have found oven husks and charcoal inside as well as outside the pits. Pitt's home disappeared during the later phase of the settlement. People started living in mud huts at ground level. The style of pottery also changed. The potter of Bujhum started to make shiny black pottery. Though the potter's wheel was known, most of the pottery was still made by hand. The dead were buried in pits, sometimes with domestic animals. The historians they have found at Burjham historical site that these people they have also learned how to make pottery and using potter's wheel. And most of the pottery was still made by hand. And the dead of this age of the dead of the people in this age, they were buried in pits, sometimes with domestic animals. Last point, Daujali Heading, located in northeast. This is a site on the hills near Brahmaputra Valley, close to routes leading into China and Myanmar. Stone tools, including mortars and pestle, have been found at this site. This indicates that people were probably growing grain and preparing food from it. That this site it is located near Brahmaputra Valley and it the it close to the routes it leads into China and Myanmar. And in this site, stone tools have found including mortar and pestle. It indicates that people they were probably growing grain and preparing food from it. Because in this site, land was cleared by burning forest and cereals and yams were grown. People of Darjeeling Heading used mud, stone, and slabs for preparing food from grains and vegetables. At Darjeeling Heading, pots were shaped with tools wrapped in cords. These pots bear code marks. So, so in this video, I have completed the chapter. I hope that all of you have understood the chapter. In next video, we will start discussing question answer of this chapter. Thank you.